this is awesome. Yeah, please, anything else that I can try to explain or elaborate on?
Oh,
Anything,
I
please.
have a question, and hopefully I can
Oh boy.
explain it well. So in Christie's class this last week, the Tree of Life class, on the topic of the word, um, there was a sentence that I don't think I didn't understand, and maybe you can at least give your ideas on it. And I'll read it to you. And it's speaking about the sound as, the vibrations. Um, and the sentence reads, sound in the spirit is entirely reversed, as everything is reversed on the spirit plane, polarity and direction wise, as to what is on the material plane.
Sound carries a feeling. It comes out of our voice. We're expressing something. And the word that comes out is a feeling. Whatever we're speaking is a feeling of what we're reflecting in the way that we say it. Does that make sense so far?
Yeah.
Uh, any questions about that, anyone? Please.
No, it makes sense.
So, Christy, does that make sense, hon? And Terry?
Go for it.
Sound and Dana? Sound is a feeling. We're expressing to someone how we feel when we're expressing. Say if you're at work, if you go to work, there's someone's going to give you a direction, and they're going to express it the way they're of what the feeling they're having within them, whether it be a busyness, whether it be excitement, whether it be joy, whatever, or a madness. It's expressing, it carries an essence to it. The more conscious we are of that essence of what's being said and what the words mean, there's an essence behind it. That's the spoken word, whether it be constructive or destructive. And it's carried by a feeling that's emanating forth from us through the morphic fields that are coming forth from us that are being expressed. It could be jumbled words, not having anything. They're like ripples that lose their meaning, they fade away. Like when you throw a rock in a pond, it kind of dissipates. It'll dissipate sooner because it has no substance to it. If it's not of a constructive nature and it's emanating into another person, setting a pattern for them as well.
Mhm.
If it's constructive, it has more of a meaningful flavor to it, and it's going to influence a person greater than something destructive being said or done. Not done, but said. But the word is carried by a feeling, a depth, and that's where the true feeling comes in, based upon the thinking, the truer thinking of the mind, the more conscious thinking of the mind. Every word, every thought, every action is your living prayer. That's where that comes in, and that's where that's from, the living word. If we can picture the words coming out of our mouth telling uh, in explanation of a story and understanding, if we give purpose to our words, the greater the impact there is to them. Otherwise, it's just rippling, fading away. Every word, every thought, every action is our living prayer, literally. If we can't say the word the and have a person understand what we're talking about.
Right.
But if we express what we're talking about, what the words are showing in pictures, that's where you're going to have the greatest impact in like the things being expressed. That's going to have the greatest impact. It will affect a person either immediately or later in their life. That's what we're striving for. Words carry pictures.
Okay.
Most important. Does that make sense, Sue?
That makes sense. And the interesting thing is earlier in the text, there was a part where it said that the creative word, the true creative word, has both the male and the female part. And it talks about
Yeah,
how the female part is this feeling, but it
the
doesn't really
feeling.
explain what the male part is. So I think from what
Yeah.
you're saying this male part is this conscious image,
The
right?
male part is carrying the authority of it, and the female part is the feeling that carries the expression of it. You can't have one without the other. Not possible. Not possible. It's just like night and day need each other. Water and air need each other. Light and dark need each other. You can't have one without the other. If we didn't have the darkness, uh, that we're born from, we wouldn't be able to perceive light. We wouldn't know what it is.
Yeah.
They have to have each other. And sure, uh, going back to what was just said, uh, women carry the authority. They carry both the masculine and the feminine as well. Just like the male carries the uh, uh, masculine and feminine as well, which is our future evolution. More of the androgyny of what we're coming into, just like what we were originally born from. Cool. Good question.
That's really nice to think of it in thinking of it as the word, the power of the word, rather than thinking of men and women becoming the same. And I always think biologically, I'm like, oh, come on, no way. But when you think of it this way, it's like then it's like if you think of women as more feeling and men with more authority, and you put them both together, and both men and women have the creative power.
You can't have one without the other.
Right.
It's not possible.
So did I hear that a word cannot be spoken without creating an image? Or that
You can be, but it's not going to hold any
it's not gonna
substance
move
to
anything.
it.
Okay.
It loses itself. It falls flat.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
So the idea is to learn, we're learning how to speak in pictures to identify. And if we can personally and purposefully utilize that, it creates form. And that's what we're also learning to do is to come into that form of creation that we're creating, the actual form, not only mentally and not only in the psyche, but also physically.
I wonder if that's why some people talk with their hands.
It's an expression
Yeah, Bill.
Yeah.
to elaborate what we're expressing, but we're doing this through feeling.
Yeah.
This is identifiable from us for feeling.
Yeah.
It creates images. If we can learn more so, we are already in our evolutionary process. If we can learn to do it in a greater way, and we have moments that we do already in life, our life individually, if we can put pictures to the words, when we say the word, um, uh, oh, you're an existentialist. What does that mean? That's just, it's calling someone something. But
Right.
if we can know what we're calling them in that word, then it's going to be more identifiable, not only to us, but to through the expression of the feeling of what we're expressing. through identification, it becomes more real, and
Yeah,
it's going to
definitely.
leave impressions of what you're saying in them instead of just name calling.
Yeah. And when you said that, I'm an existentialist, as an example of something that forms no image. I get no image from that.
Correct. But if we know the meaning of the word, we can use it in a proper way in a proper sentence, which carries a feeling as we're expressing it.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And the existentialism is not believing in anything, any source. But that's not even true. There is a belief in source because they get to witness even plants growing from light, which carries life. So they, uh, you know, they ignore that. They don't want to see that. But if we express in words, then they get a clear picture of what's being said and what's helping them not only mentally but physically manifest. There's a form that can physically manifest from speaking the word. And the word doesn't have to be necessarily verbally. It can be, if you as we learn, we can actually manifest something. And that's what we do in prayer through desire that carries the fire of the impetus of it.
So in that word 4 that we were reviewing, that first sentence again, it says spiritual facts of sound is the paragraph heading. But what we were trying to figure out is it says sound in the spirit is entirely reversed,
Yes.
as everything is reversed on the spirit plane, polarity and direction wise, as to what is on the material plane. So I'm kind of like thinking, here you got a line, here's the material plane. And then down here, just like this little graph on this paper, down here is the spiritual. But what does it does what is the sound of in the spiritual plane? Is there sound in the spiritual plane? Is really what it is. There an actual sound, or is it just an energy or something? Well, that's what we're trying to understand. What are they saying here? What do you we didn't know either. We were like, what is this? Are you waiting for me to stop?
Yes.
Go ahead.
All right. There's a lot of comment in there. Let's take one thing. The spirit carries the activity.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the spirit does. The spirit moved across the face of waters and brought life. It's bringing something. It's bringing activity of something imaged. Uh, the spirit of 76, it carried an activity of excitement, of joy. The spirit carried that activity that was in mind. That's what the spirit does. That's the function and purpose of spirit. We call it Holy Spirit, and it is Holy Spirit, but it's carrying life. And therefore, we have the opportunity. It's much purer in the mind of the creator. The creator creates based upon, we have that ability to recreate in his image, and therefore we are co-creators. So we also have then, therefore, the ability to create as a co-creator. And the spirit comes in because we're tapping into a sense of feeling, and that's what carries the fire of that and ignites it, the activity of the spirit. And so Therefore, we are endowed with that. There's no escape of it, but it's always on hold in us. Excuse me, until we express the word uh, of something that we know, and it has to be that we know. It's a truth that is perceived, and that is what is carried forth into the activity of what we know. It's pure in its form, and we're being open when something's happening, and then all of a sudden we see something, an accident is going to happen. It's shown to us, and we take the essence of what we're feeling, the immediacy of it, the urgency of it, because we're perceiving that urgency, that needed uh, communication, and changing it. We can stop it. It's because we know. That's another form of that. Does that make sense almost, Christy?
What it sounds to me like,
Please.
well, what keeps going through my head actually, and what I'm hearing is it's the law, like this whole talk about the word. It's like power, force. It's
And energy,
law,
right.
power, force, energy. It's word, um, action, creation,
It's
another
all one.
form,
It's
right?
all one.
Another way to
There's no
say,
one thing. It's all one. The power, force, and energy, they're all acting together.
right? And then just how we've been talking. Um, you have well, you have the masculine in the triangle, the masculine, and then the feminine is the actual creator of that thought, and then you have the
The
masculine,
masculine and the feminine
the
are of the
Holy Spirit,
one that we're participating in with the authority and the truer emotion of it. The truer emotion is the exaltation of that divinity, of the godliness, of what we really are, which is the movement of that activity.
Mhm.
Hmm.
I think it's hard to express the spiritual without the body, without the physicality. And I think that's where we're probably getting tripped up because it is all one as well, like we're in our body and in our spiritual sense. So to try to talk about the what's in this realm using the physical senses versus what's in the spiritual realm using the spiritual senses, and to try to visualize that in order to be able to express it is it's a little tricky. And so like in that
Right.
I'm
For
teaching
you, for you, is it tricky?
to express it verbally and with words, but I can visualize it pretty well.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. And in the visualization, there's a truth. In the visual, all right, Chrissy, 1 second. In the visualization, there's a truth. And that's what we're longing to perceive, is that truth of what is perfect in the mind of God, or in the process of perfection in the mind of what we call God, the divinity, which is a living mind of a creator. We're learning how to find ourselves in it. So it's going to be difficult, yes. Because, as you suggested, we're living in the world.
Can I read a paragraph?
Sure, if you'd like to.
It's from the middle path. It's just one paragraph. Because this is God's way, the Father's way of getting through to you on this plane of existence. Without the Christ, you cannot get through, and neither does He get through, except through this, because from the Son comes the light and the life, and it is through this that the law when it is given and the word is given forth, is motivated into existence. This is very fine to talk about, but believe me, it is something that few people want to do, and there are few people who will pay the price to show any real love.
Isn't that everything that we talked about, though?
Yeah. But
Yeah. And it's very true. Very, very few people want to or want to even get a taste of that because it disrupts their world, literally disrupts the world, their world, and the world around them.
shocking.
It's shocking. It is. And to be of that nature for an individual, it could be scary unless, excuse me, unless they're in the path more consciously. But that's what we're doing is we're learning to develop within that path. We're learning to become more conscious of ourselves. And that's where this tool of realization comes in, where you have this presence there, which is an aspect of God that's carried by, sure, you can break it down, it's carried by Christ, the life that affects us. And there's many mansions in this life. And our place and our ancient longing is to come back to its awareness. We have that resounding within us from the original word that's continually in echo of the original word. It's always in existence still. And for us to tune into that, and so, oh yeah, I can hear that, I can hear the music of the spheres and all this other stuff. I can do spiritual gifts. Nothing compared to what is, because where that person is now who says they can do it, that's the trap.
Something
But what, yeah, go ahead, Steve.
something you said, Teresa, really resonated with me, and it was that in order for communication to happen, you have to have an agreement.
What kind
And
of, yeah,
Meeting.
what do you mean by that? I understand, but
it's very subtle. I mean, it's two people can reach the agreement without saying anything or without, but someone is asking a question and someone thinks they have an answer, then they reach kind of an agreement. Okay, here's what I see. How does that fit with what you see? No, and it's kind of that back and forth.
isn't that also the analogy of uh, 10 blind men with an elephant trying to describe it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
we have unique lives, personalities,
Yeah.
different parents, situations in life. One guy plays baseball, another one plays darts. How are we, living in the
Yeah.
same place?
Yeah. How do we have anything in common at all between us?
Sure.
And I've done it both
I
ways.
Yeah.
I've done it both ways where I've had someone where I totally am missing the mark with them, completely missing the mark. And I'm like, I can't. And then I've had that same person where I've totally understood them.
That's
Like
correct.
just came through in a willingness to understand and connect. And
Yes.
it's the same two people, the same relationship, but just two
Yes.
different
And
choices.
this is where we have an opportunity to drop ourselves and to just listen without emotional or mental reaction. That's when there's a oneness that happens. That's where the unity comes in, the truer unity, because we're at the same place in that mind for that particular situation of life.
Yeah. I couldn't
How
imagine.
awesome.
I
I'm
couldn't
sorry.
imagine God saying, "Not her."
No,
You guys are fine, but her, no, not her.
yeah. And what's happening is we're actually the ones saying, not her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How cool.
Where'd you
How
go,
lovely.
Kristen?
All right.
I'm,
Uh,
I'm just,
any other final questions or comments, please, that we can jab about? At 6:15, I got another appointment. So
I
please.
I was just visually seeing that sentence as the Star of David with a line right through it. The top half would be the material plane, the bottom
And
half is the spiritual plane. So therefore, it is reversed.
yes, it
But,
is.
and that's what, like, I kept seeing the triangles, and then I was like, okay, and we have the Star of David, which kind of shows the um, the differences between the material plane, the spiritual plane, but where God, comes into all of that. And
Sure.
I don't know. That's what I'm just visualizing. For some reason, I'm visualizing
Good.
things tonight. So
Awesome. I love it. Love it.
thanks.
Merkaba.
Any one last question or comment, please,
Yeah.
while we have a moment?
Hmm.
Anything?
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, really.
This was fun.
I hope so. And um, yeah, please, anything else before we say our adieus? This was fast. God.
That flew. That flew. Seemed like 10 minutes.
I know. I know. Kind of blew me away. I looked at the clock and I thought it was about 5:30 here. But all right. All right, my dear friends. Next week, please. I'm so looking forward to seeing y'all. And there'll be more people, I think, besides us, as people get used to the idea. What is that,
Next,
Terry?
2 weeks or one?
In 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Okay.
Correct. Okay.
And please come with questions about yourself. I would love to
yeah.
try to delve into those to share with you. Thank you for being here. But come with questions about yourself, please. And I'll do everything I can to try to answer them and see where it comes from.
Great.
All right.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
Blessings.
Good.
God bless y'all. Thank you.